18th meeting of the Johnston County Commissioners, and welcome all of you in the boardroom here tonight and those in the hall waiting to come in. It's good to see everybody here. Also welcome those who are watching on our live stream on YouTube. Welcome to you as well. We will open the meeting with an invocation and a pledge, and I've asked Commissioner Stevens to lead us in the invocation and Commissioner Smith to lead us in the pledge. So choose, please stand for the invocation.
Dear Lord, we come before you with humble heart, asking for your guidance and wisdom as we begin this meeting. Bless all who are gathered here today with clarity, compassion, and discernment as they make decisions that affect our community. May their discussions be filled with respect, understanding, and a shared commitment to serve the people of Johnston County. We thank you for the opportunity to work together for the common good, and we ask for your presence to be with us throughout this meeting. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Present arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, please be seated. All right, the first item on the agenda is approval of tonight's agenda. Is there any need to adjust the agenda, or do I hear a motion to approve?
Mr. Chairman, making a motion we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The agenda is approved. The next item on the agenda is recognition of Andy Holland. I think this is like deja vu, a little different though. So we'll have our Senator Benton Sorry to come and present to us on that.
Sure. Thank you, Chairman Lauder, Vice Chairman Harris, and the Johnston County Board of Commissioners. And you kind of hit the nail on the head. This is a little bit deja vu. Like most things in state government or government, they operate just a little bit more slowly. So I hate that we didn't get everything together, but we're here tonight, and it's a joyous celebration. I'm glad to see the entire family, I think, here with me, which is special because, I mean, these are neighbors and friends, and I'm going to say this, his favorite son, who was my swim team coach, couldn't make it tonight, but just think a lot of these people sitting behind me. Mr. Chairman, I'm here tonight to present a special honor to Mr. Walter A. Holland, Jr., which is the Order of the Longleaf Pine on behalf of Governor Cooper and the entire Johnston County Legislative Delegation for his service to the state of North Carolina and Johnston County as attorney for the Johnston County Department of Social Services and the Johnston County Child Support Services. As you're all aware, because we had a proclamation issued earlier this year, Mr. Holland served in this role for 50 years and was a pioneer in his field. He was instrumental in the creation and implementation of the child support services in Johnston County and across the entire state of North Carolina. At the time this agency was created in 1974, there were only 2 other states in the nation that had a similar department or similar social service in that. So Mr. Holland and his department staff had to build a social services department and enforcement mechanism with respect to child support services from scratch. You know, we take for granted the systems and the devices and the protocols that we have today. Doing so without state statute and governing law in place is somewhat intimidating if you really think about it. North Carolina General Assembly followed suit in 1975 and passed the North Carolina Child Support Act, which was later expanded to include all mothers and not just those on welfare to a scope. Just to let you know how much has grown, so in the program's first year, I believe I was told that it collected $44,000. Nearly 50 years later, the department collected $15 million annually with a staff of 25 employees. Mr. Holland has been a model to attorneys in the Department of Social Services world throughout North Carolina. People come here regularly to see how he does it, how he gets it done. It's a thankless job. It's a difficult job. It's something that I, as an attorney, try and stay away from just because I know how thankless it can be. So I am particularly grateful to Mr. Holland for taking on this responsibility. Mr. Holland was steadfast and resolute in this role. He took seriously the responsibility to carry out the letter of the law and serve the people of our community. Now, the Order of the Longleaf Pine, why is it important? So this is North Carolina's highest civilian honor. We have had one more given out in Johnston County this past year, and that was to Clayton Fire Chief Lee Barbie, who many of you knew served in that role for decades and was such an instrumental part of his community. So that should tell you a little bit about how important it is that we're here today. It was created in 1964, which interestingly only predates Andy's service by 10 years. It has been given to dignitaries such as Billy Graham, Michael Jordan, Dean Smith, Andy Griffith, and now Andy Holland. And so perhaps my favorite part, which I was reminded of, sitting behind me, Ms. Faulkner told me, is that this entitles you to give the North Carolina State Toast at dinners and special events. So perhaps Mr. Holland will have an opportunity sometime soon to give that in Smithfield. He'll have to learn it by heart like several of us have. So as a fellow member of the Johnston County Bar who's had the chance to work with Mr. Holland, I'm honored to present this tonight. I believe that Mr. Holland is beyond deserving in this award. He's an important part of this community, part of the Johnston County family, Department of Social Services family. He is the type of person this award was designed to honor, and I can think of few better to receive it here tonight. So, Mr. Chairman, with that, I would greatly appreciate an opportunity to invite Mr. Holland and his family up here so I can hand them this award.
All right, that'd be great.
Thank you, Betty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we've done this before too. So
Yeah, we have.
And the 7 stragglers in the back, yeah, here. Y'all can back it, yeah, back on up to here, yeah. Yeah, you got room for the tall ones in the back here.
That's a good plan.
How you doing, Mom? Good, how you doing, Andy?
A few of y'all might be hidden back there, but I'll,
He's talking about us.
Yeah, yeah.
all right, hold on. Take a few. 1, 2, keep your eyes open. 3. All right. Good job.
All right.
I know I was going to say.
I thought you were going to say, like, you've been your swim coach or Andrew, and I was like, what?
Thank you, gentlemen.
They didn't hear your coach.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, so you know, Lofton was my competition.
All right, we'll give them a minute to clear out, and we'll let the next group come in. Y'all by yourself over there now, huh?
All right.
All right, there we go. Yeah, we'll if they can, I don't know how many you got. If they can sit down as many as you can, and then we'll get a picture when we'll get through. Yeah, I was going to say we typically don't, but since the parents want to come in and stand in the gap there, go ahead. Look, I want to say how well behaved y'all are and quiet. It's the ones in the hall who are very noisy and rowdy.
Right.
So that's the way it is at the baseball games too, isn't it? It's always the one in the stands causing the problems. Yeah.
Gotta let mom and dads come.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Tell them they can come on in. The parents and grandparents can come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stand. Yeah, you can stand in that wide gap there. Yeah. Yeah, you can just stand. You can stand in the gap. You don't have to go. You don't have to go hide on the side. And let y'all keep on coming in there. Come on, if y'all want to walk forward, just keep walking forward to that.
Yeah.
To that. Keep walking, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. Right there. You let the rest of them line up on you. There you go. Come on, yeah. Tell them to pack it in. Tell the rest of them to pack it in. Well, now he bailed. Hey.
Nobody can see you, we promise.
We need some
If y'all will
examples.
walk forward.
Please
Who's
stop
the team
right there.
mom? Where's the team mom? Yeah. Oh, that explains a lot. Is this all of y'all? in here? Okay, all right, good. All right, then. So the next item on the agenda is recognition of the Tar Heel League's 10U state champions.
All right.
I think we have Glenn Johnston here. Glenn, if you want to come and tell us a little bit about this team and what they've accomplished. And then I think we have Commissioner Stevens is going to, whoever you want, I'm talking to the microphone so we can get
Okay.
you on the live stream.
All right, so these guys are Johnston County South is the name of our all-star team. These guys are from the Four Oaks, Benson, Meta, McGee's Crossroads community. They played their rec ball either in Four Oaks, Benson, or Meta, their rec season. After the rec season, all the coaches get together and they pick an all-star team, and that's who they were. And we played in 3 all-star tournaments this summer. The Johnston County Invitational, we won that. We played in the District 5 tournament by Tar Heel. We won that, got past Cleveland, really good game. Then we went to the state tournament, winning the District 5 tournament, qualified us to go to the state tournament in Hickory, and obviously we won that. At the state tournament, we played Greene County 9-5. The first game won 9-5. The second game was Sand Hills 3-1. Yep, 3-1. And then we played Garner 4-0, and then Sand Hills come out of the losers bracket, and we wound up playing them for the championship, and it was a 2-1 ball game. So as you can tell from the scores, it was some very good competitive 10U baseball. And, you know, looking back, it's been 3 weeks ago, reflecting, I mean, we had some guys that throughout the district and the state had some incredible individual performances. But probably the thing that sticks out to me with these guys is how well they played together as a team. They really gelled together. They were great teammates, and, you know, I'm very, very proud of them. And it's been fun, and I hope we can see you guys in the future. That's pretty much all I got, unless y'all want to talk about Lawrence Axes or something.
Well, we've done that for you. So we heard you. So I don't know if you want to introduce your coaches.
Yes, this is B.J. Thomas, Will Gennard, and Chris Morris.
Chris down there. Well, just I know I have a grandson who plays travel baseball. Hadn't quite got to the level of success as state champions, but I know that's an accomplishment. A lot of hard work went into that. So just congratulations, and I will talk to, I guess, both sides of the room here, the parents, for the effort that you put in. I know it's not easy, and grandparents. I know there's grandparents somewhere, because grandparents, we're everywhere. There we go. Yeah. There they are. So thank you for going to the games and watching the games and practices and all the things that you do to make it possible and support these young fellows and enable them to be the champions that they are. So do you want to read the, oh, so sorry, you're the next one.
You're good.
Yes, Commissioner Stevens.
Resolution regarding the Southern Johnston South 10U baseball team. Whereas the Johnston County Board of Commissioners takes pride in recognizing the accomplishments of all athletic teams in Johnston County, and whereas the Southern Johnston Baseball Association South 10U baseball team won the 2024 Tar Heel Leagues, Inc. 10U State Baseball Championship in Hickory, North Carolina on July 28, 2024, and whereas the Johnston County Board of Commissioners recognizes this great accomplishment, and whereas this championship brings statewide recognition and distinction to all of Johnston County. Now therefore be it resolved that the Johnston County Board of Commissioners hereby publicly recognizes and congratulates the Southern Johnston Baseball Association South 10U baseball team on winning the 2024 Tar Heel Leagues, Inc. 10U State Baseball Championship, adopted this 19th day of August 2024.
All right. Is that in the form of a motion?
Oh, yeah, I would like to make a motion.
And I second the motion.
All right. All right, so we have a motion and a second. I want to take any time for discussion, comments to the...
I've got one thing to say. I know these kids enjoy doing this, but it takes a lot of commitment on the coaches and the parents' part to make this happen. So congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I will just add that when I see things like this and the pride, and we're so proud of each one of you, but this is also, it reminds me daily of what makes Johnston County such a great place to live and work and raise a family and have friends and neighbors. So we're just thankful for all of you.
It's always good to see kids from different teams coalesce into one team and play as a team. And I guess this year you're all-stars from the other teams, or are they just one team? Have they been a team the whole season, or are they
No,
all-stars?
well, like I said, they played in different communities. These guys played either in Four Oaks, Meta, or Benson. And at the end of the regular rec season, you know, all the coaches from the communities picked the all-stars,
Right.
and that's who these guys were. They were
So-
the 10U Johnston County South all-stars.
So they're real all-stars now.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Sounds like the best of the best.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyone else?
You know, winning is nice, but the best thing is the rules and the values that they learn that they'll stick with them the rest of their lives. And I know that was true in my life, and I know that'll be true in their life.
Yeah, and one of the things that we talked about a lot, and these guys will tell you, and that's the reason they did it together as a team, we talked about competing, you know, playing with a lot of effort and having some mental toughness and doing it as a team. And when you do that, what I tell you guys, when you look across the field, most of the time, when you do those three things, the scoreboard will reflect it. Not every time, but most of the time. And that's what was so impressive about it, is how they did that together as a team.
All right.
It's more fun learning those values when you're winning, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is. All right, so we've had a motion and a second. All in favor of adopting the resolution, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries. So we will, if you want to get the coaches in the team, we'll come up, and that way the parents and grandparents can take pictures, and we'll let Ben take some pictures as well.
I'm so excited for him, I forgot to make a motion.
So don't stand right behind that microphone. You want to be where you can be seen now. Yeah, you want to be seen there, yeah. Yeah.
I can't see. Yes, there we go. Much better. There we go. All right, smile. All right, your turn.
Yeah, just smile like you're glad school's going to start back in a few weeks.
Next week.
Next week, yeah, that's right. All right, Ben, you got yours? Did you get some? Yeah. Okay. All right, thank y'all very much. Congratulations.
Congratulations, guys.
What you hear? Go to sit down. All right, we'll give it another minute to clear out before we resume with the next item. Now we're just left with the true diehards in here. All the fun part is over. The next item on the agenda is consent agenda items and their approval. Our discussion, is there any item that needs to be removed for further discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I move the consent agenda items be approved as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I'll just kind of read those five. We have approval of our minutes from July the 15th, both the morning and afternoon session, appointment to the Benson Board of Adjustment, and we're scheduling a public hearing for proposed schedule, standards, and rules for the Johnston County 2025 property tax revaluation, and that will be held September 16th at our 6 o'clock meeting. We also have some budget revisions for 23-24, and that's for our finance department. And then we also have for fiscal year 24-25 for our health department. And then we finally have I don't know what the appointment is, but appointment to the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. I don't have a name for that, but, oh, there we go. I do over there. So Ms. Jenkins has been appointed for that. So those are that. So we've had a motion and a second. All in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Consent items are approved. Oops. Turn 2 pages there. So the next item is public comments. Is there anyone here tonight for public comment that is not an item already on the agenda? I think maybe we have one. So I would just be brief. We have 3 minutes, or you have 3 minutes to speak. It will not be a time for conversation between the board and the speaker. That's for both the speaker and for the board to remember that. And if you would keep your comments civil, and I'd ask you to come up, would you please state your name and your town or township that you're from? All right. No one wishing to speak? No? Okay. All right. Do we have any emails, Madam Clerk? All right. Next item is a presentation from the Johnston County Public Schools. And I don't see Ms. Andrew. Yeah, check outside right quick. If not, we'll move and we'll move it down the list. Okay, so then we'll move on to the next one for Partnership for Children, Read to Grow, JOCO. This is a proclamation for Attendance Awareness Month. And I believe we have a representative here to speak to us. I've asked Commissioner Harris to actually read the proclamation, but we'll hear from you first.
Thank you. It's really hard to go after longleaf pine in baseball. I mean,
Well, you can do it. You can do it.
Well, I've done baseball, I've done
Yeah,
longleaf
you
pine,
can do
so
it.
I guess I'm here. I'm Dr. Jonna Faulkner. I am from Smithfield. Via 4 Oaks is what I always say. Smith Oaks is what I prefer. I'm a lifelong educator and recently retired literacy professor from East Carolina. In our community, I advocate for literacy and have the privilege of volunteering as a member of the Read to Grow Steering Committee and a member of the Read to Grow Attendance Action Team. Just as a reminder, it hasn't been that long ago since I was here before you as a member of Read to Grow, and our Read to Grow initiative is a countywide initiative with special priority being given to 4 target schools: Benson, Selma, South Smithfield, and West Smithfield. Tonight, I am actually here on behalf of the Read to Grow Attendance Action Team. And this team focuses on chronic absent rates in our elementary schools, including pre-K, and ways we can help families ensure their children attend school regularly. I'm here for 3 reasons, and you'll be happy I'm not asking for any money this time. So first, I want to share some successes, update you on what we've been doing, and again, we're going to ask you to do the proclamation, which I understand Vice Chairman Harris is going to read. Fantastic. Last year, we shared data and asked for your support, which you graciously gave. So, pat yourself on the back because your efforts in supporting Read to Grow, our attendance initiative, received national recognition in the Attendance Works National Campaign for promoting September as Attendance Awareness Month. So we made it nationally, so that's really good. I'm always a proud Johnstonian when that happens. I'm proud anyway, but it's like you said, it's better when you're winning, right?
That's right.
So, of course, we're going to ask you again to support that proclamation. In support of Attendance Action Month, what we are doing is doing some of the same things we've done before. This will be our 3rd year of our annual attendance poster contest. And that is pretty awesome. The children participate, and if you want more information on that, Heather, who I'll ask to come up at the end, will be glad to give you that. And I think you probably have some there in your remarks. It's all there. And we did these really cool things called listening sessions. We went to those 4 target schools, and we met with parents. And my role in that was really my favorite thing ever, I got to work with the children while they did the really important data collection. And so that was great for me, reading books and passing out stuffed animals and talking about coming to school while they listened to the parents and gathered all the data. Once all this was organized, we have this sheet from our listening sessions, which you all can see. It's this green one. And we want to draw your attention to some things. Parents, one reason that they say their children don't come to school is transportation. And yes, we provide buses, but oftentimes those children miss buses. And when they do, there's no alternative for getting them to school. This is what our parents said. Remember that these are our 4 targeted schools. And if you'll notice our second one, you see our typo there? That's because we were sleep deprived. And instead of sleep, just add a little E there for us, if you don't mind. That there's sleep issues, that parents may work shift work and that they have trouble sleeping, or that their child is also sleepy. Some of these children, even little children, elementary children, look after their brothers and sisters. And so sometimes in the morning after they've gotten brothers and sisters off to school, they go back to bed. But we want to make sure you understand what the parents are telling us about why the children are late to school. Many of these are, as you can see from the vast majority, are things that are related to transportation and family. And the same thing with our children being picked up early. It's sick or medical appointments, which is great. At least there's, a positive, you can call that a positive reason for leaving. They're not just leaving because, but they are leaving school for specific things. Parents do want their children to try to get to school, and we're working really hard to help them understand how important that is. We're excited that we've made progress this year. If you can see, I think you have the pictures from Benson Elementary about the initiatives we did at the end of their school year. That was one of our schools. The students who miss no more than one day during the month of May, which is, testing month, are invited to a dance party and a sweet treat. Parents and guardians who miss were put in a drawing, for their kids didn't miss. That's important to keep parents on board. And the school-wide attendance rate there did improve, so that was good. Our attendance poster contest is always a big deal, and you will see, as I said, more about that in your comments. So what we would like from you all to help them, is to declare or proclaim September as Attendance Awareness Month in Johnston County, and we really do appreciate your support in all the ways you do, including reading books. So thank you for that. Some of you came out and read for us, so we appreciate that.
That was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
All right. Chairman Harrison.
Okay, the proclamation of September 2024 as Attendance Awareness Month. Whereas the nation is experiencing a school absenteeism crisis, making good attendance more essential than ever to student well-being, achievement, and graduation. And whereas students and families are more likely to show up and engage when there are positive conditions for learning at school, including physical and emotional health and safety, a sense of belonging, connection, and support, academic challenges, and engagement, and peers and adults with social emotional competency. And whereas reducing chronic absence requires a comprehensive trauma-informed approach that starts with prevention and early intervention, including developing routines and trusting relationships that create a sense of belonging rather than responding with punitive action, which research finds is not particularly effective. And whereas improving attendance and engagement takes schools, families, elected leaders, and other community partners working together to rebuild regular and trusting communications and to identify and address barriers to being in school. And whereas taking attendance daily in a caring, consistent manner is essential to identifying this when students begin to miss too much school, and for noticing as soon as possible when students are starting to miss too much school and engage parents and families with the needed support and resources. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Johnston County Board of Commissioners stands with the nation in recognizing September as Attendance Awareness Month. We hereby commit to focusing on reducing absenteeism and addressing the factors that cause students to miss in order to ensure all children an equal opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive academically, emotionally, and socially. We recognize that we must work together to build an engaging school environment that motivates attendance and sends the message that learning can be and must continue. Adopted this 19th day of August, 2024. Mr. Chairman, I'll make that in the form of a motion.
I second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of adopting the proclamation, please say aye. Aye. All right, proclamation is adopted.
Thank you. May I
Thank you.
ask Heather Nasha and our parent representative to come up, if you all don't mind, and do a quick picture with
No,
wonderful
it's the day
people?
before pictures.
Because if we're going to make the national publications, I want us to look good, okay?
Well, there's not much well, some
Well,
of us can
you
do
all
that here for
can-
that.
you
I'm
all
going to speak
can
for the
do
rest of the 7.
Just go right in front of
Okay.
them. I will go right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do 3 of these. 1, 2, eyes open, 3. All right, and I'll get your email.
And
Thank
thank
y'all.
you all very much.
Thank you.
Don, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Go back to the microphone. In this parent listening session, I agree that raising awareness with them is important, but are there any tangible steps been taken to bring about a resolution of these deficiencies, like transportation, that type of thing?
So we're going to bring this back to the attendance action team, and we're going to...
I would love to answer, but as a volunteer, I'm going to let the,
Sure.
So we're going to bring this back to the attendance action team, and we're going to take a look at what Read to Grow can do. Obviously, we can't do everything about this, but we are going to look at it and see how we can leverage all kinds of community resources to
Right.
possibly, work on transportation, or see if
Sure.
churches might have a bus or a van that they can go pick up kids that miss the bus or things like that. So that's what we're going to be looking
Or community pooling, perhaps.
at. Exactly. Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions?
Any other questions?
we're trying.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
y'all.
y'all.
All right. All right, next up, we have Josh Holloman here to talk about the EMS system franchise recommendation.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, Commissioners. I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight. I'm here because Emergency Services has received a franchise application from Providence Transportation Incorporated to provide non-emergency transport within Johnston County. So as part of our EMS system oversight, a franchise is required for any of the non-emergency companies to move a patient from point A to point B within the county boundaries. So we have reviewed the application, and we have met with administration from Providence Transport. We feel they meet all the requirements. I've also received some positive references from 2 other counties where Providence is already operational, as well as the North Carolina Office of EMS, which had very positive remarks for it. And I've also talked with some administration over at Johnston Health, our local hospital system, who are also in favor of having another option for transport, as it benefits their operations moving patients as well. So here tonight, representing Providence Transportation is Mr. David Stevens, the owner of the company, as well as Ms. Robin Roberts. And with that, I would respectfully request approval of the franchise, and I'd be glad to take any questions or have Mr. Stevens answer any questions for you.
Any questions for Mr. Holloman or Stevens?
I think in our agenda review, you mentioned that you had checked on references and everything was very positive.
Yes, sir. I talked to 2 other counties where they're already providing operations, positive comments. I also talked with our representative from the Office of EMS who had positive things to say.
I have one other question, Josh.
Yes, sir.
If a patient is at home under the direction of hospice, could they move that patient from home to the hospice house? Would that be an example of the
That is
non-emergency?
something that you guys could do. Yes, sir.
Okay, good, good.
Yes, sir.
All right, any other questions? And you said they were based out of Lexington?
Yes, sir. They're based out of Lexington. They'll be serving Johnston County out of their office in Cary.
I was just going to say, I didn't see any barbecue or red slaw, so I'm just saying.
We hadn't got into that debate.
About this per se. All right, all right. Do I hear a motion?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we grant the franchise to Providence Transportation
I
Incorporated.
second it.
So, all right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of granting the franchise to Providence Transportation, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion's approved.
Thank you for the
Thank
support. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. Sure.
Yeah, no, without barbecue, it's not, no. But if you want one to take back for the next time, you can take one. You can take one, but yeah. I wasn't kidding about the slaw and barbecue.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Barbecue's good, they can keep their slaw.
We did, yeah, the slaw's just good for every once in a while, yeah, it's
Yeah.
not an everyday thing. All right, the next two items we have from our Parks, Greenway, and Open Space Program and deal with grant applications, and I believe Austin Cross is going to present both of those to us, so
Yes, I am.
floor is yours.
Good evening, Commissioners. So item number 8, the first one, we would like to request for approval to submit a grant application for the Great Trail State Program. This is a one-time grant. It's $25 million. The grant we would like to use to purchase land for Greenway expansion in Wilson Mills. This will roughly expand that existing Greenway that we have about 2 miles, with that portion already being funded by the carbon reduction program. The amount of the grant would be $225,000 and a 1-to-1 match. So we would have a $225,000 match, which we would use open space funds for a total of $450,000. We'd like to move forward with the grant application. It's due on September 3rd. But everything is complete right now, just need to get the approval and, yeah. Any questions on that one?
Any questions? All right. I hear a motion then.
Yeah, I move that we approve the request to go after the grant.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
2 miles, that's typically not point to point that someone uses out and back, so that's 4 miles that we're adding, right?
With hopefully more to come after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the submittal of grant application for the Great Trail State Program and use open space funds for the match in the amount of $225,000, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nay. Motion carries. All right,
All right.
next.
Item number 9 is requesting approval to submit a grant application for the Recreational Trails Program. This is a federal grant that's administered through the state. It's reoccurring, so we can go after it many years. For this grant, we would like to purchase trail construction and maintenance equipment. The equipment we'd like to purchase is a mini excavator with certain attachments, along with the dump trailer that we could use for transportation and for use in the field. The hope is that we can use this for cost savings on matched funds through in-kind services. And we'd also like to work with our other partner groups, such as other municipals and other partner recreational organizations, to allow them to be able to use it as well, so that it can help not only our organization, but other ones as well. The total amount for that grant is $75,000 with a match of $25,000 that we would like to use open space funds for a total of $100,000. With that, we request approval. And, is there any questions regarding that? And if you'd like to see a map of the general area, it's on page 23. That's for the Great Trail State Program 1, and we would like to also use this construction equipment as well, if we're approved on there.
Okay. Because I was going to ask, of course, their map, so, but I am going to ask, before we get to the motion, is, I know we're starting to get segments here and there. Could we have at some point in the not-so-distant future a presentation on what we have, what we may have with the grants we have applied and where the gaps are? So because I think we're starting to accumulate stuff to connect dots and be from Clayton to Smithfield, and in other directions too, so it'd be nice to see that, so. Just a side note there, so. All
Mr.
right.
Chairman, I don't know that it makes any difference, but the item numbers he's using, 8 and 9, and on our outline, it shows that it's 9 and 10. So I just want to make sure,
I apologize.
we have, I mean, he may have some different stuff than we have. I just want to make sure we don't have
Okay.
any technicality slip up on
Okay.
us anymore.
Thank you.
I think, are we good? Yeah, we're good. Okay. All right, so do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to approve the submittal of the grant application for the recreational trails program and use the open space funds for the match in the amount of $25,000.
Second.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Cross.
Thank
Mr.
you.
O'Neill.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
And I'm assuming with the success rate you're having that we will hear from you, and I don't know how long we've got to wait. At some point in the near future, we'll be back to let us know we got those. No pressure, no pressure. All right, next item is for our public utilities, and Kim Rainier is here to present to us. Good morning,
Good evening,
Evening, yeah.
gentlemen of the board. Thank you for listening to this proposal for the construction contract award and budget revision for the Whitley Heights Diversion Project. This project is part of a series of projects we called the 210 Wastewater Treatment Facility Diversion Projects to bring wastewater to our new facility. It's currently treating making high-quality effluent and meeting all its permit limits. We're so happy to have forward flow through that facility. We have a series of projects that will send more wastewater that way, and this Whitley Heights diversion is one of them, and it allows us to abandon the pump station and send it by gravity, making our long-term operating costs go down. So we received bids for this project on July 25th, 2024. We received 4 bids, and the bid tabulation is attached. And we would recommend that the award of the Whitley Heights Diversion Project to the apparent low bidder, the verified low bidder, Moffett Pipe Incorporated of Wake Forest, North Carolina, in the amount of $865,705.70, and the approval of the revised project budget and capital project ordinance that goes along with that. Any questions from the board?
This is a totally new station.
It's not a station at all. It'll take the Whitley Heights, current Whitley Heights pump station offline and allow it to gravity to the
Take
new
gravity to a
station.
new station.
The new station at the airport.
Okay.
And it'll be called Reedy Branch Station. And it'll also facilitate future connections from the ECIA area. And you'll see there's a alternate bid on here that was to upsize the section to accommodate the ECIA area's flow. So they won't have a termination point for their new pipeline.
So will we accept the alternate?
This is the accept,
Negotiate.
and you'll see in the proposed budget, there's a developer upsizing in there that we'll be working out an agreement to receive those funds in order to do the upsizing.
Okay. Gravity is good.
Yes.
All right, any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we award the Whitley Heights Diversion Project to Moffett Pipe Incorporated in the amount of $865,705.70 and approval of the revised project budget and capital project ordinance.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
I've got one quick question,
All right.
Kim. Their bids, I was just looking at their bids, was in some cases considerably lower than some of the other bids. Have we done business with them in the past?
We have successfully completed projects with Moffett Pipe before.
Good, okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
We,
Have we voted on it yet?
no, I was about to say, so we have a motion and a second and a question.
Yeah.
So now, all in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. All right, we got the important part in there. Ms. Renier, you wowed us so much we forgot, well, I forgot what we were doing, so. All right, next up, we have a presentation by Greg Walker, our District Director for Soil and Water Conservation District on some easements. So, Mr. Walker, please take it away so I can quit talking then.
Conservation or conversation?
Yes.
The conversation part. Thank you, Commissioners, for letting me be here tonight. I'm glad we got a chance to, or you guys got a chance to visit me in our annual meeting back in July, so I could tell you about all the things that we do with Johnston Soil and Water District. But every time I come in here, I'm talking about farmland preservation and conservation easements. So I'll jump right in. You, in your packet, have information that I provided. It's a little narrative on one page and a chart that kind of shows you where I am as of right now with our programs. Before I jump into the chart, which I think is the most important thing, just a quick top of the informational worksheet, some abbreviations and terms. I think it's worth mentioning again. I've mentioned before, but the two funding sources that I go after for conservation easements are one federal USDA and one a state, which is an NCDA. The federal program is called Ag Land Easements, ALE, and it has the authority to fund up to 50% of the fair market value of an easement. Now, one important thing to note here, it does not allow closing costs. That's a contrast to the state program. The state program, ADFP is a short for, may fund up to 50%, but also it has authorized to cover closing costs, and that's a big deal. So look, if you look back to my chart that I provided you, look at the top of the top column or rows, the landowner location, acres, et cetera, all the way across. And in green, you can see my funding sources, USDA, NCDA, additional NCDA funds that I've gotten this past year, et cetera, et cetera. And that also includes landowner donation, which makes the purchase whole, 100%. And then on the far right-hand side in yellow is the funding request that I'm describing before you. So I'll end up on that side of the column at the bottom. But let me just point out a few things. I did come to you in May and talked about two of these easements. If you look at on the left-hand side, MLT, those are simply abbreviations of the landowners. I didn't want to do names here. But I was coming up short on my funding, about 20% on each one. And I let you know that I'd gone back to the state for some additional funds. I was successful. I want to point that out in that second column, the third column. So if you look at MLT SC, additional $285,486, and then below the dark black line on MLT D parcel, additional $503,000. So I was successful with that. But I also want to point out that I also was even more successful on the first one, MLTSC. Look in that federal column, $560,500. So I was able to snag better than $750,000 on that one, and $500,000 on the second one. So was successful in those two parcels. So if I talk about finish those two, the MLT DR that's below the black line, the big black line, that easement value, if you look at that column, 100% easement value is $2.3 million. And I have been able to secure $439,000 plus the $503,599. But my target on this one is 50%. My typical target is 75, but 50%, I can close it. But to make 50%, I am short $209,867. But keep in mind the landowner's report is $1,153,000. So you see how that project makes 100%. Now, to further go down on that chart, you look at the last, the ones below the MLT DR. There's 7 parcels there. If you look at the third one down, I was successful in getting state funds on that one to the tune of $777,000, and also have some closing costs with that because it's a state fund. Now, here's where the ask comes in. The 6 that remain, look at that column on USDA ALE, Those are federal funds that are being offered to me for these 6 parcels. Represents 50% of that appraised fair market value. Total of those 6 is $3.4 million. As I told you before, the ALE does not cover closing costs. I cannot afford to sit still for a year and watch. And matter of fact, they won't even give me a contract till I get title work done, which is where I'm going here. As I need a little bit of money for closing costs. I'm estimating $15,200 for each one of those 6. So do the math on that. It's $91,200 plus $209,867 for the MLT. Partial total ask here of $301,067. So just want you to look at those numbers. So when if you compare that $301,000, I want you to know what's in front of it. What I'm leveraging here. I think it's pretty good day's work. So, Mr. Chairman, if I have any questions, I'd be happy to try to.
So I want to check my math. This is almost Austin Cross level success here. So for $301,000 on our part, we're looking at 1,024 acres. So it's less than $300 per acre for us. My math is good. Okay, I went to Clemson, so I got the.
I'm glad my math.
We didn't get the Wake Forest guy in there yet. But okay, I just want to make sure because that is something we all like to see here.
Mr. Chairman, I think that the worksheet here reminds me a little bit of the worksheet I have to use to figure out my taxes on my Social Security. But with his explanation and the way he's put it together, it is very understandable and very clear. And I think this is a great move of $300 an acre to set aside that much. I move we approve the request.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I have something to add. I was recently reading a report that says that it's currently estimated at our current rate of farmland loss in this country that no more than 30 years from now, we will no longer have the ability to produce the food to feed our population here domestically in the United States. So I think it's very important that we continue to look at ways to preserve farmland, and I wholeheartedly support this effort.
And so I did have one question, and I'll remember that we take a vote on after this. But so the other monies that we had talked about back in May in the, I don't know if it's $500,000 or $600,000 commitment, that is for other projects that aren't included in.
That's correct. That's the ones that come next.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right.
And just so you know, that is the importance of that grant opportunity is it provides us an opportunity to have dedicated funds. I'm a lot more, I can move faster if I have a pool of dedicated funds, whether it's state or federal or both, rather than have to compete in that big state pool every time. I mean, it's fierce competition. But this past year, I was pretty darn successful with the ones I got. We had an opportunity, and it was, I knew it was out there, so we moved in a big way, and we were successful.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your staff.
And Mrs. Matt Adams is with me.
Yeah.
She
See her back there. So thank you for all that you do. So we have a motion and second. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay?
Good job, Greg.
Motion carries. Yeah, thank
Very
you.
good.
Thank you, Nat.
Greg.
Between him and Adrian, they're loading up on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We didn't keep rolling. All right, next up is manager reports and comments. All right, that brings it to the board reports and comments. I'm gonna mix it up, start on this side. Commissioner Stevens.
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Commissioner Stovall.
Yes, I've got a couple items, Mr. Chairman. We had heard from our County Extension Director, Brian Spivey, that the impact of Tropical Storm Debbie was very devastating on our tobacco and vegetable crops here in this county. And it's going to be very difficult for some farmers to recover from that. Fortunately, a lot of them do have crop insurance, but that does not cover the losses. Best case, it covers your input cost. It does not make up for the lost revenue, and a lot of times it only makes up about 75% of what those input costs are. So a lot of these farmers, particularly the vegetable farmers, they sell their goods locally. I'd like to encourage our citizens to continue to focus on buying locally and help them through this difficult period. The other thing I want to mention is that I want to give a shout out to an extension employee, Nicole Youngblood. She has been championing a program to recognize Farmers of the Week. here in Johnston County. Right now, they're on farmer number 8. Was gentleman Dean Benson with Mary Branch Farm in Four Oaks. Each week, citizens nominate a farmer to be Farmer of the Week, and Nicole goes out and makes a presentation to them in conjunction with a representative from Carolina Packers. Part of that presentation includes they get some hot dogs, so that's that's a good thing.
Sound like a deal, yeah.
But she does an outstanding job in recognizing our farmers, and I just wanted to make sure that we acknowledge her efforts.
Yeah, and I would just say encourage the folks to follow that on social media. Not only that, but when Brian's out there with the farmers in the field and showing what the conditions are, it's very, very interesting and informational and entertaining.
Yes, if you go to Joco Grows Agriculture on Facebook, that's where you can see these farmers highlighted each week.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Stovall.
If Nicole comes out and looks at my cornfield, I'll be the Farmer of the Week next week.
We just need to get somebody to start nominating you there.
That's right. The corn I planted in June. Last week I attended the annual conference of the Association of County Commissioners, and it was a good conference. There were some folks missing because of the storm situation down east, but I must say it was noteworthy that every time people would hear the name Johnston County, they took note. There's a lot of folks, especially in the eastern part and the poorer counties, that would love to trade our growth problems for theirs. We lament from time to time about how we're getting inundated with growth and how to manage it and how to deal with it, but there are people out there with a whole lot worse problems that they would trade. But all in all, it was a good conference, and there's a lot of good classes.
All right, thank you for that.
To give a shout out to our employees, our staff. We wouldn't look half as good as we do if it wasn't for them.
Yep. All right, Vice Chairman.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, and I didn't really have anything, but I did want to, talk about the growth and the balance with the agricultural use, and it is good to see that this board is committed to doing what we can to preserve farmland and some of the success we're starting to see now, soil and water conservation, parks, and our partners at TLC, that we're I don't want to say we're doing a good job, we're doing a better job at what we're doing. So I hope that's something that this board and future boards continue to take a look at that. And that is really all I had. We do have a need for a closed session tonight, so I do not expect there will be any action taken after closed session. So,
Mr. Chairman, I move the board go into closed session for the purpose of consulting with an attorney employed by the board in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A3, and to establish or instruct staff concerning the negotiations of the price in terms of a contract concerning the acquisition of real properties pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A5.
Second.
all right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right, we will go into closed session after a few minutes to clear the room.